Hey, 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 26th of May. Elizabeth Gilbert, quite a good, strong passage, I suppose, for want of the better word, about happiness and about how you can relate it to life, everyday life, and having to, do things regularly in order to achieve. So, happiness is the consequence of personal effort. You fight for it, strive for it, insist upon it, and sometimes even travel around the world looking for it. You have to participate relentlessly in the manifestations of your own blessings. And once you have achieved a state of happiness, you must never become lax about maintaining it. You must make a mighty effort to keep swimming upward into that happiness forever, to stay afloat on top of it. If you don't, you will leak away your innate contentment. It's easy enough to pray when you are in distress, but continuing to pray, even when your crisis has passed, is like a sealing process, helping your soul hold tight to its good attainments. Now, depending on how religious you are as to the whole praying and carrying on praying and all the rest of it, but I think the point being is when you look at sport, competitions, or anything like that, when you win something, when you achieve something, you want to be able to keep hold of that. So you have to keep doing what you did to get it, to be able to maintain that level. And that's exactly what you have to do with happiness. You have to, when you get to that state of happiness, you have to realize that actually, right, now I've got it, I want to keep hold of it. I want to stay being happy. I don't want to go back to being sad and miserable. So you've got to keep fighting for it. You've still got to carry on pushing forward to keep on top of it. And I think that's where I think this passage really has its message, in the fact that you can't become lax about maintaining your happiness. You have to keep on keeping yourself happy and making yourself happy and achieving that happiness. Because if you do stop, that happiness will slowly dwindle. You will let other emotions creep in. You will let other things happen that will then take that happiness away from you or lower that happiness level. And that's what you have to prevent. You have to be a strong person in life to be able to continue doing the things that you want to do. And I think that's where, like it says, it's easy enough to pray when in distress, and it's easy enough to stop being sad and miserable and become happy. But it's sealing that process. It's sealing that happiness in to keep you going and keep you moving forward. That's the key. That's the key, like with praying when you're in distress. Once you've actually got past that horrible stage and you've, the prayers or whatever, you've solved it. You don't then just stop, because that can come back. You have to seal that off. You have to continue doing what you did to stop that happening. You have to continue moving forward, taking those steps to get away from that situation. Otherwise, you'll get sucked back in. And that is what I believe Elizabeth Gilbert is going on about. Happiness is the consequence of personal effort. You fight for it, strive for it, insist upon it, and sometimes even travel around the world looking for it. You have to participate relentlessly in the manifestations of your own blessings. And once you have achieved a state of happiness, you must never become lax about maintaining it. You must make a mighty effort to keep swimming upward into that happiness forever, to stay afloat on top of it. If you don't, you will leak away your innate contentment. It's easy enough to pray when you're in distress, but continuing to pray even when your crisis has passed is like a sealing process, helping your soul hold tight to its good attainments. So remember, it's like a relationship with a family member or with a partner or a friend. It will always take work to maintain. If you don't put the effort in, you won't get the results out. And it's the same with happiness. If you don't put the work in and choose and make yourself happy, you won't be happy. You won't get the result. And when you do get that result, you've got to continue to make sure you stay happy. So you've got to continue working at it. I hope that makes sense. If not, rewatch this back. Reread the passage and make today count. Be happy.